Hello, everybody. If you guys are just tuning in, welcome to Arigato Vibes Live, Episode 1. We are featuring my friend, writer and director Ahi Black today. And I'm going to start the show off with an original song of mine. It's called Stay. You can check it out on any music platform. It's not the acoustic version, so you guys are getting something a little special today, and I hope you enjoy. So glad you came, and I think you feel the same. You're smiling at me like I did something right. I'm just being me, but I'll ride this wave all through the night. I'm feeling you too. Just us two. Finally, it's you and me. You're standing, and I'm so lucky. And baby, I want you. I might even need you to stay. Did I get here? 'Cause you're so fucking beautiful. It's clear, yeah, that I'm the lucky one, son of a gun. Must do something. 'Cause God, I've never seen such warm, sweet eyes and a smile so bright. I'm so dancing through life to your own embrace. It's turning me on, you got me in the mood. So baby, get in bed so I can make you wanna stay. Finally, it's you and me. You're stunning, and I'm so lucky. And baby, I want you. I might even need you. Something about the way you move, feeling some type of way. Hoping you'll stay, don't let anyone get in our way. Tell me what do I gotta say, come on over and play. Hoping you'll stay, don't let anyone get in our way. Tell me what do I gotta say, come on over and play. Ahi,
What's up?
how you doing, man?
I'm doing very good, very good. Life is beautiful.
Cool. So I want to dive into who you are first.
Sure, yeah. So I'm a writer director. I'm 28 years old. relatively young, but also getting older, unfortunately. Um,
Oh, yeah.
I am a huge football fan. I tend to be sort of strange to other people, but sometimes I click really well with other people as well. So I don't know. I don't like describing myself. I like other people doing that for me.
Okay, fair enough.
So it's all I got for you.
Well, if it counts for anything, I never thought you were strange. I thought you were real cool.
That means
down
you're just
to
as
earth.
weird. Fantastic.
That's true. That's why this is perfect, and that's why I'm really glad you're my first guest.
Yeah, it's a good match.
So let's see. I wanted to talk about your most recent work first. I actually saw it, Dead Sales. Can you talk a little bit about your microfilms, what your goals are with those, and then we'll dive into what Dead Cells is about.
Okay, cool. So yeah, as you know, we work in the film world. There's projects take a lot of time to develop, and depending on the size of the project, it could take months and sometimes years to get something put together. So that was really frustrating for me. I did not like that,
Yeah.
and of course, I'm constantly writing behind the scenes. So there's that happening, but it was this. I always feel like I can do more, and so if that itch is inside me to do something more, I'm gonna try to push something out. Um, so that's when the microfilms idea came to play. I said, it's got to be something I could do on a consistent basis for me just testing my own craft and testing new ideas and stuff like that, but also just seeing what I can create, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And seeing what I can put together. And it's honestly, I did it more just to put out more stuff and just to, develop the craft. But what I've realized is it's become relieving for me as
Yeah.
as a person who creates stuff.
Do you think that sorry to interrupt?
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
think that relief comes from the fact that you're actively pursuing your dream?
Yeah, no, that's a good way to put it. But another thing is like just me mentally,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I write. Yes, yes, I'm on this mission, I'm on a path, but at the same time, it's if I don't do it, I'll probably go nuts.
Yeah.
Either that or just start talking to myself on a daily basis. I don't know, something weird would happen. So it's almost like a you know, this is a weird way to put it, but when you take a shit, you feel relieved. You know what I'm saying? Is you get the idea outside of yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know it's a very
There's
strange
like an
way to describe
anxiety
it.
that
Right.
builds up
It's like,
and-
all right, it's time to go to the bathroom. Let's release this shit. And then you start, releasing it on a more consistent basis.
Bro, I think everybody can.
I think everyone relates to that, right?
analogy.
They're like, dude.
It's like gender neutral.
So anyway, yeah, I do it for myself, but also, it's been relieving, to
How
to
did
just
the idea come to
consistently.
you?
Well, I've had the idea for a while now, actually. Probably around 2.5 years of wanting to create more consistent films in between the bigger projects.
Yeah.
And again, this means you cancel out your entire social life because if I'm not working, I'm writing on my main projects, and I'm not doing that. I'm shooting this other shit. It was kind of like that. There was an itch inside of me to create more on a consistent basis. I said, there's got to be. I also study a lot of movies, and I find 1, 2, 3 minute short films actually really pleasing. So I'm like, oh, it's interesting. Like I've never thought about, pursuing that. I've written a lot of short stories that are meant just to read.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, hey, why don't I just try to transfer this into film? And that's where the idea came out. I sat on it for 2 years and I talked a lot of shit for a while. And then I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Like I'm doing it now.
Yeah.
Let's do it. See what happens. And I've written 52 microfilms.
Wow.
And I have the next 3 years sort of planned out as far as what I want to do with the microfilms in between these bigger projects.
That's so cool. And like, is microfilms, is that already a genre, or would you say that you're kind of pioneering that? Because like obviously I've heard of feature films, short films.
No, microfilms they've been a thing. Essentially, so a feature film is anything above 40 minutes, 45 minutes.
Right.
A short film is, I'd say, probably 5 to probably
30,
45,
yeah,
30 to 35. And then microfilm is probably like 5 below. Some would even say like 1 and below.
Yeah.
Because there are many films like that, believe it or not.
Yours have been like around 2 minutes, right?
Yeah. 1, 2 minutes. There's a few coming out that are more like 3. But anything under 5 minutes or less, that's what I consider a microfilm.
Very cool. So basically it's encouraged you and motivated you to consistently be working on something and consistently be putting something out.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I feel like what happens to a lot of creators, not just writers, but creators, is that the idea comes and they either get stuck in the planning phase or the filming phase or some kind of phase and don't make it to like the it's done, it's released, move on.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I find it to be complete bullshit.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's a human problem. Like, I don't think that's a creator problem. Uh, Personally, we all experience that. You know,
Yeah.
I think in just about in every aspect of life, you know, trying to complete something that's difficult to complete is
Right.
going to have its phases of objections and difficulties.
Yeah.
And it's you as a human that are you capable and have the bandwidth to be able to push through those obstacles to complete the project. And so if you're like that as a human being, it'll translate into anything you do. That's
true.
like my motto for myself is if I ever want to be a great artist, I should strive to be the best human being I could possibly be.
All right, so that was awesome diving into the microfilms and how that came to you. So let's go into your latest one, Dead Sales. I loved it. I that's all I can say. I love the cinematography. I think I told you this before. I love how you mix your shots with like the music, and like you use the classical exciting music. Reminds me of like Pirates of the Caribbean type vibe.
It's like half my soul.
Yeah. Okay. Fuck yeah. I mean, I can totally feel that, and that's kind of like one of my favorite movies. So.
Yeah, it's got to be.
So yeah, can you tell me a little bit about what went into creating Dead Sales, where the idea stemmed from, and the creative process?
So these first batch of microfilms, a lot of them are things I've shot in the past. So yeah, I've had all this footage that I've had for a very long time, and I said, okay, before I start releasing some of the new stuff I'm actually producing as of today, let me start making things from the stuff I've shot in the past. And I've shot a lot of films when I was on my travels with intention, and I never really got to, it just kind of sat in my hard drives. And so Dead Sales was one of them. And so what was cool about that story is that we were in the British Virgin Islands, and we found this abandoned island. There's nobody on it, and there's just a shit ton of just.
Is that where that was?
Yeah. Abandoned sailboats. They're just there.
What was the location?
The British Virgin Islands. Yeah, British.
I was wondering where it was. I was like, where did he find such a cool place?
Which is the same location I shot my first short film in 2018, Lone Wolf Island, with Megan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, same place. But anyway, yeah, there's no real crazy story to it. What's cool about it is the island of dead sailboats,
Yeah, I mean,
and
how did you even find it? Did you
it just came up upon it. We're
really?
like, what the hell?
What?
Yeah.
That looks like it would take like a big movie studio, a huge budget to like move those things in place.
No,
that
no, I found it. I just found it like that.
Like,
it was really cool, and there's boats from different parts of the world, which I thought was really interesting. So the intention was just capture the cool shit in front of me, and just explore this island. It was really cool, and later on, as of recently, I wanted to put something short together. I have at least an hour and a half of footage of all these microfilms, but I want to make it just a minute or two,
Yeah.
So there's a lot of footage I still have, but I really liked what I put together, just for fun.
I love it. And I think it's really cool how you're using content that you've already taken from the past, and you're not just letting it kind of like die or go into some file, right?
Never.
That you'll never touch again, that you forgot about. You're making use of it.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you can create at any point, and like 10 years down the line, you could use that content and it was worth something.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I feel like a lot of filmmakers, they'll make their first, second, third project and be like, no, I'm not going to put it out there.
Yeah.
Like, I think you should put everything out there.
Yeah.
I think you should put every piece of work you have out there just to run through the full process of completion.
Yeah.
And have people look at you and say, dude, this sucked. Like, people need that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you don't have a sharp enough eye to see your own work as good or bad, other people will.
True.
You know?
Besides your mom, right?
Right.
Like,
No, my mom loves all my shit.
I love that. I mean, I've heard that as a cliche. It's like, if you're a creative person or a performer or a singer, maybe ask somebody other than,
that an audience test is incredibly valuable.
Okay. Well, like, dive into that. What do you mean?
So basically presenting whatever you made to an audience that doesn't know you, just like basically what you said, and having them judge off of, just them watching it as its own piece of work rather than, people that your family, because I don't trust any family and friends watching my work. They're, oh, so good. I'm like, okay, all right, let's next audience.
Gotcha.
You love them for it.
Yeah.
I have a few friends that'll tell me straight up, which is I'm grateful for.
Yeah.
because they know that I'm looking to, and as you know, as an artist, you just want to get better as an artist. You want to build that craft. You know, you're not looking for an ego boost. You're looking to improve on the craft that you're trying to master.
For sure. And how would you say that you are at like analyzing yourself in your own work? Are you able to like kind of give yourself an outside perspective?
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm very
you're
truthful with my
honest with
shit.
you, so you can be like, that kind of
I'm not
sucks."
happy with anything I've made so far. Let's put it that way.
Wow. So you're hard on yourself, is what you're saying.
Yeah, but it's because I'm honest. Like I know, I wouldn't say I'm not happy. I'm proud of myself for certain milestones because of where I was and my growth. Yeah, I would say I'm proud of myself. But at the same time, I know the expectations of myself and what we're trying to strive for as a crew and as a team, and I know we can do better. And if I'm gonna look at my piece of work, but that was the best we could have done, I haven't felt that yet. I feel like we could have done better, and it all starts with me. I mean, I wrote the thing. It's my idea, you know. I have found to just about everything has been my fault.
Okay.
Because but that's the whole reason you should make a movie, whether you're happy with it or not, or make any piece of music, release it, and then you sit back and you said, like, first of all, I can't watch this movie the same because I've been part of it for so long. So let's let 6 months go by, then watch it, and then you say to yourself, okay, I'm actually proud of myself here, here, and here, but these are the areas we can improve on, and that's going to make your next project better.
Yeah.
So some people say it hard on myself, but that's the idea.
You think that's what it takes?
Yeah, like that's what it takes.
So like being honest with yourself, getting that outside
Self-awareness, right?
Of yourself, getting honest opinions.
Yeah.
And are you saying that failing is better than not?
100%. No, fail nasty.
Fail nasty.
Fail nasty. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Don't get precious with it. This industry is full of precious people.
Yeah.
And you can't blame them because you're basically unstripping yourself open, writing something, putting it on screen, having people judge it. Like that takes some vulnerability. Yeah. So I don't judge people for being precious for it. But at the same time, if you're the kind of person who wants to pursue greatness in the craft you're trying to pursue, we spend a lot of fucking time on this shit. Right. If you're not trying to get better, if you're trying to get better, you should have a harsh look at all angles 1 billion times to get better at it. And if not, then you're having fun, and that's awesome too. Like a hobby. Right? And that's awesome too. But that's why we go back to self-awareness. Right. Stick to self-awareness. Why are you doing things? Why you're making this film, and judge it off of that. Knowing your intention. Yeah, exactly. Am I doing it just as a hobby, just to kind of have fun, or am I like trying to be serious about this? Exactly. If I'm trying to be serious about this, I need to be real. Exactly. And people need to be real with me. Yeah, exactly. I love that. This is already so inspiring to me as a creative person, but I feel like this is going to be so inspiring to other people because I hope so. I feel like no matter if it's film, music, drawing, art, people get stuck on that, on the, like I said, getting stuck on either the planning, the process itself, but not the completion. So I feel like the defining key, tell me if I'm wrong, is knowing what your goal is, where you want to get, and realizing what you need to do to get there. If not, you're kind of just playing around, right? Yeah, 100%. Yeah, push through to the end. Yeah. And if not, you have a human problem. Right. Self problem. That's huge. Fix it. Fix it. And then you're good. Fix it. Do you think, going back to vulnerability, do you think that plays a huge key in this, is finding the courage within to put something out that's not perfect? Yeah. I think being okay with being uncomfortable is absolutely necessary to make anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to realize it's not about you. A lot of artists make it about themselves. Yeah. Of course, like when you're making we're obviously doing it for ourselves. Like that's the whole point. That's why everybody does anything. Like I make movies that I want to see, and I haven't made something that I have sat there and said I actually wouldn't, really care for this movie the way that I saw it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think it's very important. Actually, it's essential to make something really good. Mm-hmm. You should probably, the more vulnerable it is, the better it's going to be, because the more tied it's going to be to your unique self. Absolutely. More authentic. Yeah, exactly. How do you balance taking the criticism, and that maybe isn't always so good, and also like still finding
that courage that we're talking about to release it. Because I feel like that's what stops a lot of people is like they're scared of harsh criticism, and that could be why a lot of people don't pull the plug and or
Well, that's the
press the
problem.
button, launch.
There's a problem is that they're afraid to be judged,
Right.
and it's like, don't, all right, then don't release something then. Like, that's the nature of our work.
Right.
That's the nature of creation. Like, the art life has never been easy for any great artist in the history of humankind.
Right.
So don't expect it to be soft now that you're doing it. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? One thing is releasing something for a hobby. Another thing is, hey, this came from the bottom of my heart, and someone says and looks at it and says, this is a piece of shit. That is scary as hell.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But get to that level as fast as possible, because then you'll start to develop a skin.
Yeah.
That'll get you to the place you truly want to get to.
I was gonna ask you, what's the method to find that balance between not caring what people think so you can put the content out, but also caring to receive the feedback so you can become better? How do you navigate that? I feel like that's like hard.
Yeah. I personally think, I don't want to say I have a gift, but I have a little bit of an advantage, because naturally I don't trust people's opinion across the board. Right? So just like, you give me a great compliment, I'm like, oh, thank you very much. And it's really hard for me to take the compliment.
Right.
That the same weight a compliment has for me, the same weight is carried by the negative comment towards whatever I'm doing. So across the board, but I'd be lying to you if I didn't tell you that I've been affected by bad comments. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
Human, right?
I mean, you're right. Yeah. So, like, honestly, it's what I call Hawkeye view.
Yeah.
Where basically you look at the world and the entire scenario from the view of a hawk, and you sit there and say, okay, the criticism's coming at me, the comments or the good comments are coming at me. Let's observe from up here for a second.
Right.
Where am I trying to go? Where's the path? Where's the map? How can I use these two to help better me towards where I'm trying to go? Not this personal, temporary, satisfactory moment of an ego boost or a small like depression phase.
Yeah,
like that should
feeling
mean nothing,
bitter.
right?
Yeah.
It's like, if you're truly trying to make the best movie, the best song, the best painting possible, if you truly care about, and you're like outside of it, you're just like the vessel of it, then you don't it doesn't affect you as a person.
Right.
Rather, you just you embrace the good and the bad, and hopefully you have people who are judging that are reputable and have good taste and whatever.
Right.
They're exactly. Not just a mom or a dad or whatever, and use them as tools to make a better piece of art later. That's why I think it's important to have those test audiences, because you could say, I felt this scene was too long, this too short. And if you get that over a long period of time, you don't get sad about it. You just say, okay, maybe I should rethink this particular scene.
Gotcha. Has there ever, just getting vulnerable, has there ever been a time where you were negatively impacted by what someone said, like you said you have, but that it made you kind of, obviously you haven't quit, but did it ever make you think about quitting or your worthiness in going for it?
No. When I think about quitting, it's because I get in my own head, not because of other people.
Gotcha.
So like, my self-doubt is what I think about. Okay, am I crazy?
Right. But it's not other people's comments giving you self-doubt.
No, that actually fuels me.
It
feels me. So I'm like, okay, bro, like you have no idea what I'm doing behind the scenes. Right. So like, people don't understand. Like, no matter who you ask across the board, there's even our moms and dads, they don't really know who we are,
right.
and what you truly do. I don't know what you do behind the scenes.
Right.
I could be spending Saturday, Sunday, the whole fucking week, all the way till 3:30 in the morning, perfecting 3 words, and this guy's gonna come over here and tell me I suck. It's like, dude, you have no idea the mission that I'm on. So it's like, I don't put much weight in that department, unless it's someone who can truly critique my work for the better. For example, let's say a professional critic. So actually, my film Goes to Maryland got distribution.
Congrats.
For an anthology piece, and it was professionally criticized, and it had a great review, and at the same time, it was like a good and a bad review.
Okay.
And and I found that review by a professional critic the most valuable critique yet, because I'm like, okay, fuck, like, okay, you saw the film. Yeah. I don't know who you are. You obviously do this for a living.
Right.
Okay, nice. Okay, I can fix this and this. Funny enough, it was the title that was the worst. it gave the whole movie away apparently. So I'm like, oh shit, that's
Oh,
definitely on me.
really?
Yeah.
That's frustrating.
Yeah. But I valued it. You know what I'm saying?
So you weren't looking for the ego boost or feeling sour about it, like the bad parts or anything. You were just looking for, oh my goodness, this person knows what they're talking about. They clearly have worked hard enough to get to that level where they're reviewing films like yours. I can learn from what they have to say.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Also, like I've heard the people talk about how your biggest haters are always going to be people who aren't doing anything.
That's very true.
Aren't doing what you're trying to do.
That's very true. And you know how I really learned that? By being a hater.
Yeah.
By being a human. You know, like
Yeah.
there's some times where I see people and I catch myself. Like you have to be as real as fucking possible to do great things. You know, so like yeah, of course I'm a human, so I'll judge here and there. And so let's say I'll judge somebody, right?
Yeah.
And then later on I'm like, why did I think that? And I say to myself, well, okay, is it because there's something I want that they have maybe, or is there something that they're doing that I don't have the courage to do? There's always something there. I swear to God, there's always something there that you can look inward and say, wait a minute, I'm the problem.
Wow.
And so you see it all of a sudden when you see yourself judging someone, it's just a mirror and a reflection to different soft parts of your body that need to be hardened or worked on, basically.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I can't remember the original question, but at the end of the day,
what you just said was like one of the realest things I think I've ever heard.
Okay,
like,
cool.
I don't think it's often that you hear someone kind of like immediately put a mirror up to themselves and be like, shit, I've been a hater too.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's
You're human.
that's
the
what I
thought
learned.
crosses the mind.
Yeah.
It's what you do with it, right?
Exactly. Just
But
being aware of it.
when you start analyzing that, does the answer usually come right then and there, and you're like,
Yeah.
you know what, I need to
Yeah.
step off my high horse.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
clearly jelly or whatever it may be.
Exactly.
Or
And that happens
you
to
have
me.
to kind of like digest it. You're all like flustered in the moment, and like a few days later, a week
Well,
later, you're like, it's kind of a dick.
It's usually that. It's usually the second one.
Okay.
It's usually harder to digest than I'm making it sound to be.
Yeah.
But but sometimes it is quick. But most of the time it is like, you find yourself thinking about somebody that you didn't like. You're like, dude, trust me, I'm the problem. Right. I'm the issue. That guy's living his life. That woman's living his life. Whatever.
Yeah.
So I mean, but everyone does that, and it's just about being self-aware enough to mold to be that's what comes back to being a better human. Right. Because the better you can possibly be and work as a human being, trust me, it will bleed into your work.
That's so huge. I hope everybody's listening.
Yeah, I hope so, right? Yeah.
I'm listening. I'm definitely going to apply a lot of the things that I learned from you. All of them. So going back to Dead Sales, like I know we kind of thought that was awesome, by the way. Back to Dead Sales, can you tell us like the process in gathering that footage that you already had? Like, what was your first step after that? Did you go into the editing room? Did you go into, I don't think there was any voice in that, right?
No
Just
voice.
music. So laying the music down on top, or what was your steps?
So the film sat in my hard drive for probably 3-4 years. So it had not seen the light of day. And so basically, what was it, maybe 4 months ago? I'm like, okay, dude, like that's one of the coolest experiences I've ever had. Like Dead Sailboats, are you fucking kidding me? It was super cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool. Just all these stories between all these boats, and they're all just dead now. Like I just found that super sick. And on top of that, I found the most strange skull in the middle of that island. Yeah, I didn't put it in the film.
No.
There's a very.
You have footage of it?
Oh yeah, I've got it. I have like 10 angles of that fucking skull. It was, and I just thought it was really cool for that skull to be on that island. Anyway, so yeah, it sat on my hard drive for 5 years, and then eventually, I just got to it and I edited it in like maybe 2 days.
What?
Yeah.
That was 2 days?
Yeah, I mean, it's so short.
No, I know, but still the quality and like the essence and the emotions that it draws forth, like I honestly would have thought it would have taken like a month.
No. I mean, look, I wasn't as good as a filmmaker back then, so I'm looking at this project like, dude, just grab all the shots that are decent, and just put it out there, because
That's very cool. So, do you lay out the shots first, like the picture first, and then put the music, layer it on top?
Well, it depends on the project. Like this particular one, like for any other film, I make the entire movie behind a desk. Like I know every beat, every tone, every toothpick that needs to be plucked in your in your teeth.
Listening to the same part over and
Yeah,
over
yeah.
and over
Oh
and
my
over again.
God. Anybody who knows me knows that I'll listen to something for weeks on end.
Wow.
Weeks.
Just
No,
to
that's
get,
no
just
joke.
to get it right.
I'm not fucking with you. Like, that's a real one. Like,
I
if there's comments, like, comment on that. If you know me, that's a real as fuck. But when it comes to like something like Dead Sales and these microfilms that I've repurposed,
Yeah.
it's kind of like a jam session for me. So I
Right.
turn on some music,
Lighthearted.
super lighthearted.
Yeah.
Let's see what we can whip up. It's more like that. But
Work
for
it up,
a
put it out.
particular narrative film is different. But yeah. For something like that, Dead Sales is more like a jam sesh.
I mean, the fact that you're just whipping these together, I didn't know. This is why we're doing this, right? Like,
Yeah.
That's just like, it just goes to show how talented you are. Like, you're
I don't know
extremely
about that.
talented. You have a special eye for these things, and I'm excited to see more of them. Honestly. So let's dive into the next one. I also saw this one, South America.
Oh yeah.
So was that a trip that you taken? Used the content from the past?
Yeah. Yeah. Same exact thing. Again, like I had traveled quite a bit, and so I had so much footage that I'm like, all right, let's do something with it,
Yeah.
So yeah, that trip was nice. I traveled to Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, and Chile,
Wow.
and yeah, just had a blast and met a lot of beautiful souls and cool people, and I just want to make a little love letter to that trip,
That was the vibe for
Yeah.
sure. So obviously you're traveling a lot. Did you have a love for traveling first and then this all came about, or vice versa? Did you have the idea and the love of film and you're like, I gotta get out there, I gotta explore?
So I mean, I could answer it one way or another. I'll just kind of give you like a long-ish but short at the same time.
Okay.
So when I was younger, I would write, like basically starting fourth grade. I started writing narratives. Started writing music actually, and
Really?
yeah, I also played football.
Let's
So-
go. What?
Yeah, but I didn't really play it. I just wrote it.
Okay.
Okay, so I wrote like how we should feel, and also lyrics. So anyway, so I was heavy into that, and I made a bunch of little movies, and I made music. I actually had a musical band,
What?
but it was more like a comedy music thing,
Okay.
and that didn't work out. So then I just really focused on football, and I'm the kind of person that I'm an all in person.
Yeah.
Like I'm going all in. So in my head I'm like, all right, dude, it's the NFL or bust.
Right.
Right. I'm going to the NFL. I'm making it happen. I'll die on this field. So it was 365 days a year training, off season and on season for football.
Wow. What
And
positions were you playing?
running back and kick returner. And then when I broke my hand, linebacker.
You broke your hand?
Yeah. My last season I had a torn quad.
Okay.
We really didn't know. I didn't take it to the doctor, but it was really fractured ankle. And then my hand, basically not in half, but quite, it was busted entirely. So I played my last 4 games with a cast, a stint, and a lot of Advil and like a lot of crazy shit.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no, I played to the end.
I had no idea you were an athlete, so this is
awesome
news
No,
to me.
if I was on the field, I'd kill you.
Oh my gosh, wait, so how long did you play football for?
Just to high school. And then that's when I said, when you're broken like that, and, I'm a short guy. I'm not 6'3". And I kind of had a realistic look. Again, that real eye. I said, look, of course I want this, but for me to pursue this, I'm going to die out there. Like the amount of junk I'm going to have to put in my body to make it through is going to be ridiculous.
Gosh.
So then I chose not to go to college once I graduated. I said, I don't know what I'm going to do. So I started maybe training athletes here and there. I actually got to train a few NFL athletes, interning under a really well-known trainer in the NFL world. But that lasted very little. And then from there I said, all right, it's time to travel.
Yeah.
Like I need to backpack, I need to get out of here. I don't know what to do with my life.
Reset.
I had this, if you read my journals, there was in the early days, there was this obsession with finding a craft. There's like this missing piece there. I'm like, dude, I got to find this shit. I don't know where to look. I can't find it.
Right. Now you're like,
exactly.
Now what?
Exactly.
Would you say you like still had this fire in your stomach and you didn't know what to apply it to next type thing?
Exactly. It's exactly what it was. Like my disciplinary, like my beast mode. I didn't know where to fucking channel it. I'm like, bro, all right, I guess we're going to get lost and we're going to travel as much as humanly possible. And so I backpacked Europe, South America, Central America. I just went off. And interestingly enough, kind of like there isn't quite like a moment where I said film. But I was working on a farm in England. I was living with a family up north, close to Scotland.
Okay.
And it was like a stay away, so I could I don't get paid, but I get to stay there for free.
Right,
And
and
so I
help
got to live
out.
with the family, with a farmer, and those days, like, they're sacred to me. So just imagine 3 months of you go out, you work all day on the field by yourself in a forest
Oh
mountain
my
region.
gosh.
And I had in my ears, I don't know if you heard of Alan Watts.
Alan Watts?
He's
Yeah.
a philosopher from the 70s, 60s.
Yeah, that does sound familiar, actually.
He did a lot of I guess student conferences, and he speaks to a bunch of students,
Uh huh.
and he has them in tapes. And so I listened to every Alan Watts tape. It's basically about philosophy, the world, who we are, and self. And I just those 3 months were so sacred because I was just working, chopping wood, carrying up mountains, you know, plucking eggs and shit, like
This
doing
sounds
farm
like a
shit.
movie,
Yeah,
honestly.
it was amazing. It was amazing. And then I just committed myself to, like, all right, dude, like, I don't want to waste any more time. Let's 100% channel into what I'm missing.
Hmm.
And then, slowly but surely it clicked that, like, wow, like, I, that reconnection with your childhood self, I
Yeah.
almost felt like I took a gap in my life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, football was that gap. And when I came back to it, it was like I got married.
Right.
And then I'm so, okay, let me make my first film. I made it, and I'm like, all right, yeah, this is I'm back, baby. That's what it felt like.
So when you were doing like the work in the farm and all that, the idea of film just came to you?
Again, it wasn't quite like a moment. Oh my God, I woke up and it's a dream. No, it's not
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. It was kind of like an unfolding process.
You're like,
A lot of
oh, this would be
journaling,
cool.
a lot of mapping, a lot of studying, that kind of thing. A lot of listening, a lot of just fucking sitting there looking at a tree. That stuff matters. You know what I'm saying? Like when
Absolutely. Talk
when
about
you're
being grounded.
right. Yeah, yeah. When you're 18, 19, 20, or even at any age, if you're
Yeah.
trying to look for yourself, you should get lost and find yourself again.
I love that. I hope everybody who's like young, going into college, maybe getting ready to graduate from high school. I know a
That's a
few
big
of
one.
those.
Yeah, it's a big
I
one.
mean, it's kind of a time where you're like, okay,
Yeah, it's rough.
the world expects me to grow up. What am I supposed to do now?
And that's the first test. Everyone's yelling at you to do everything.
Right, right.
Are you going to listen, or are you going to say, everyone be quiet? I'll get back to you when I get back to you.
I feel like you're in that like smaller percentage of people who was able to do that, to say, hey, don't pressure me into doing things the way that the rest of society does it. I'm gonna go get lost,
Yeah.
find myself.
Right. I mean, that's the easy choice for me, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, oh, yeah. I was like, what, you kidding me?
I feel like
Fuck
for
all
most
you
people,
people.
it's like, most people, yeah, right. Dang, I got a lot to take from you. I love that. I feel like for most people, it's like, but then how am I gonna get married by this age? How am I gonna have a kid by this age?
Yeah.
What is my job gonna be? Am I financially stable? Seems like for you,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I'll figure it out. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
explore.
Like, yeah.
You found this family to take you in.
Yeah. You just kind of figure it out.
Just go with the
Like,
flow.
not
for the
being
best.
married to a timeline
Right.
is like gold.
That is
Like,
cool.
don't be married to a timeline. Life's going to unfold regardless. Everything's going to be okay.
Right.
And the crazy part is, we're all going to die. And we don't know when. Like,
Oh, man.
is that not the biggest
there.
fucking motivator? Like,
No, it's huge.
is it not?
It is.
I don't
It
think
is.
people think about that enough.
I think it's a scary thought.
It is.
It's a
but
scary
but it's
thought for
coming.
people. Right.
Like, whether you think it's scary or not, it's on its way.
Right. Whether you
And we don't know
think
when.
about it or
I
not.
could be dead after this podcast. I could be on my own. My head's rolling down 95.
I've been meditating a lot.
Nice.
I've meditated a few years on and off, but I've really been getting into the consistency of it. And they call it a magic pill for a reason. Okay, like I've felt so much clarity and I felt so much peace. And after one of my meditations the other day, this idea for this podcast just like flooded me.
Really?
Along with who the first guest should be, and it was you.
Really?
Yeah. No,
Okay. All right.
It was like quick. It was like,
Wow.
who would be the first? You. Okay, and
That's awesome. That's really cool.
I was literally like shaking from how excited I was. You think after a meditation you're all like relaxed? No, I was just like fueled up.
Yo, next Thursday.
Yes, literally. And he showed up, people. So thank you for that. But I was thinking, and tell me if like how this relates to everything we've been talking to. I was like, I'm excited about this now. This is running through my veins right now. I need to act on it right now, because so often we get these ideas and we let that energy and that enthusiasm fade, and then it's a little bit harder to kind of like get it launched, get it going. So I was like, you know what? Ahi, are you available?
Well done. Well done.
No, thank
just
you
curious,
so
like,
much for being like here and
hell yeah. Kidding me? I'll do 100 of these with you.
Hell yeah.
What kind of meditation are you doing? Is there any particular kind?
To be honest, I pulling up like a YouTube video, and it has like transcendental sounding music.
Okay, all right.
To be honest, what I kind of hear in it is Om, like that
Right.
Om sound.
Oh.
Yeah, and on a few of the I can't remember if I did it specifically on the meditation where you came to me and stuff like that. But on a few of them, I have been doing like the breath work and doing the Om, and like there's some
incredible,
powerful stuff to that. I mean, you just feel
it's all in
connected.
you.
Yeah,
Isn't that crazy?
yeah. So, anyways, I wanted to ask: is there any process you have for finding clarity, whether that's meditation, working out, playing sports? What is your way for like clearing out the baggage that builds up here and allowing yourself to be a free creator?
Well, firstly, I just want to comment that one of my favorite directors for his work ethic is David Lynch. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Yes.
He makes very weird movies, but his work ethic is awesome, and he's a huge into what was the meditation?
Transcendental meditation.
That one. Yeah, he does that.
Okay.
And he's religious with it, and his creative process 100% depends on that craft of meditation, mastering that mental state.
Yeah.
I used to meditate.
Yeah.
I don't meditate quite as much anymore. I pray more. But my meditation is a little bit different now. I still breathe, but not quite how I used to.
Okay.
But this is a cool reminder. Maybe I should get back into it.
Absolutely.
But my process of clearing mind is been like this for a while now, and I have a particular few different forests I go to locally.
Really?
Yeah, and I walk for at least 2 hours, and I need to be alone. Like solitude in nature and solitude. No shoes.
Barefoot? Just curious. Okay.
What kind of question is it?
A dumb one.
Yeah, it's really. I don't know. I don't want to go that far, but yeah, close. Yeah, no, 100% barefoot. Like without being barefoot. Like I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, walking in a forest by myself and unleashing and letting just me talking to myself and running through problems or allowing myself just to walk in silence for 2 hours sometimes is my way of meditating.
That's huge.
Like I've solved many of my biggest issues walking, some problems I've had with myself, and my story problems also. If I have a plot hole, I'm like, dude, fuck, I've been 3-4 months walking at the forest, not consistently, but like 2 or 3 times a week, going to that forest and saying, I don't know why Gretchen gets away with it at the end. Like, how does that happen? I'm talking about a character in my story.
Right, yeah.
Like, how does that? It doesn't make sense, but that is the ending. I know it. So you walk and you walk and you walk and you walk and you figure it out.
And it just comes to you.
So that's my form of meditation, is walking.
That's huge. If you don't mind me jumping into this topic, because you brought up prayer, on these walks throughout your day, where do you fit in prayer? Are you going into a corner in your house, getting your hands on knees, praying, and then you're done, you move on with life? Or is prayer kind of a meditative process, a thoughtful process where you could be on one of those walks and you're praying as you're walking? How do you fit prayer into your life?
Well, the last year or so, I've been walking and praying.
Okay.
First thing in the morning, wake up, drink my lemon water, go outside and walk and pray. But what I found is I have found that sometimes I kind of slack, and I'd also maybe not get. It wasn't very focused. A focused prayer. Sometimes I was like, oh, let me just half-ass this prayer. So So recently, what I've been doing is I wrote out 2 pieces of paper. One with a prayer I want to say every day.
Okay.
Another one is basically a creed to myself that I need to remind myself every day.
Okay.
And I get
a mantra?
Yeah, except I think mantras are more like repetitive, right?
Right. So this is more like
a message to myself. I call it the creed of war. So basically a message to myself of what needs to get done in my life for me to basically
a message of war?
A creed of war.
A creed of war.
A creed of war. And the first one's a prayer. So I read my prayer, and it's basically there's 3 scriptures, and then there's a handwritten letter that I've written to God. And that's what I want to say every day. So I get on my hands and knees now. This is newish. And I read that, and then I read the Creed of War, and then I like to sometimes read a piece from the Bible or like a book I'm reading.
Okay.
And then usually my sacred space is good for the day.
Ooh, I'm excited. Okay, talking about the Bible. Whew, I actually know the Bible pretty well, so
Really?
let's dive into this.
Okay.
What is your favorite, most motivating story from there?
Well, first, like we could have a 3-hour
I
podcast
know.
on like,
I feel you.
I gotta send you my essay I wrote.
We'll do one just on
Okay.
that. But
What was the question again?
what from the Bible is your most favorite motivating story or character or chapter or verse?
You said motivating. I would say
Favorite or motivating?
so. So I grew up Catholic, right? So I've had like exposure to the Bible, but I wouldn't say I know the Bible.
Okay.
Especially off my head, certain scriptures. But there's one of them that I read every morning. The Valley of Death.
Okay.
I believe that's what it is. You've heard of it?
Yes.
Okay. The Shadow Valley of Death, something like that.
Yeah.
I read every morning, and I still can't
Really?
remember. Yeah. That one's part of the 3 scriptures I read.
Okay.
That one makes me just remind me that no matter how rough life is, and no matter what I put myself through, like, because I kind of have like I believe I'm going to suffer for a long period of time. Because that's what a true life of greatness is. Just seeking growth at all times is going to require suffering at a long
Growth
period of time.
pains.
Right, growth
Yeah.
pains. So that in the suffering, that verse brings me comfort in the suffering. So it gets me kind of comfortable, snug in like the pain
and strength to withstand it.
Yes, and also, but a story. There's many stories that I really really like. Noah's Ark is sick, but I read Job like maybe 3-4 months ago. The book of Job.
Okay.
And then the actual story of Job, and how God tested Job, right?
Yeah.
So that was
absolutely.
God tested Job, and then Satan, or I should say, Satan tested Job, and God allowed him to do it.
Right.
And that story just really, it just shows like when shit is at its worst, stay true to God and yourself, and whatever that is.
Right.
Stay true to the sacredness of what really is important.
Right.
And you'll come out the other end a better soul. That's what I like about Job.
That is powerful. I mean, it's really cool because when you first started talking, and I had asked you the question about which story, I'm thinking to myself, I wonder if he's going to bring up Job, because like everything you said before that lined up with his story.
Yeah,
and,
I love Job's story.
What he went through and the adversity. I feel like that's his word, right? Adversity.
Yeah, that's a good one.
To say the least.
Yeah, that's one word right there. That's pretty good.
He got it.
Yeah, he got it. That was fucked up. That's a rough story.
It's interesting that like that's like your go-to, your fave, that the one that came up. Whereas like for me, I'm gonna be honest, that's the one I stay away from the most.
Really?
And that must say a lot about me, right?
Yeah.
I just think to myself,
why is that? Like, why is it that you stray away from it?
Because I hear the story, and Amy can vouch, anybody listening can vouch, I am probably one of the most positive.
Yeah, you are.
Minded people that you'll like ever meet. Like, I'm just like, let's uplift everybody, let's stay positive, let's smile, even in the face of adversity. So even growing up as a kid till now, like I hear that story and my mind tunes it out automatically. I can't even go there. I can't imagine going through what he's going through. I don't want to go through what he's going through. I want to focus on what it is I want to attract. And his story is so far from what I want to attract that my mind shuts him out. But
that's its own superpower. Do you know what I'm saying?
You think?
Like, I don't think there's one philosophy towards life.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
But I know there's power in the story of Job, because I avert it so much, and typically as a human, the things you push away, there's
Trust me, I got him.
Learn from. Right. And one of my best friends actually brings up that book a lot, and he really resonates with it.
With Job?
With Job, yeah, and like I find it interesting that you come in here today bringing that book up. It kind of makes.
I think it's time for you to read some Job.
It's time for me to reread Job.
Yeah.
To be open to it and to learn something from it, for sure. So I appreciate
that's super interesting. But yeah, like I feel like there's also there's something special about what you just said, where someone who's completely focused on attracting the good. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? For me, I feel like I want to I just know bad things are going to come. And so I
Right.
want to make sure that I am shielded up with a fat sword ready to go at all
Yeah.
times. Versus someone who maybe like you, who you're like, it's dude, like everything's good. You'll see. That's also a massive superpower I don't have.
We probably balance each other out,
Yeah,
right?
I for sure, for sure. Like I have optimism. You know, like
Yeah.
we're gonna get out of this thing. We're gonna get out. It's just gonna be fucked up. Like
Right.
that's the way that I see it.
Right.
This is gonna be a nasty, bloodthirsty war, but we're gonna win.
I love it.
You know.
I love it. I love it. All right, so I'm glad we dived into that a little bit
That's
because
cool.
like that's super powerful. I know not everybody like is spiritual or religious, but there's there's a bigger power beyond us as a human being, and I think there's something
There has to be.
in connecting with it
Yeah.
that is only gonna make you feel more whole. Um, you know, whether you want to call God or spirit or source, I feel like there's something about clearing your mind and connecting to something greater than yourself. And that's why I wanted to kind of bring it up.
I agree.
You seem like someone who's very grounded and in tune with yourself. So for me, I would have figured he's got some kind of connection to God or source that I'd like to kind of hear about.
Yeah, I mean, like that's part of being a human being.
Yeah.
You know, even if you're a fan of history, like it's just always been a part of us as humans.
Right.
So it's like to count it out just because it's like, oh well, we can't see it. It's like, well, I mean, okay, fine, but there's so much more to it. Yeah. I don't know. Like that's why I said we need another podcast because I have.
Right. Yeah.
Oh my, I can go deep with you. I'm talking the depths with you.
You know what?
With this shit.
When you come back, we'll dive into
Let's
it
do
even
it.
deeper.
Let's do it.
But I appreciate you being vulnerable about that. Like some people don't even want to get into a conversation about it. So that was really awesome. All right, so we have some more microfilms here. Travelers, The Egg.
Mm-hmm.
Can we dive into The Egg? I saw that one, so
Yeah.
that would be really cool to talk about
Yeah.
that one next.
So as you notice, there's a lot of little travelers style ones. So once those are kind of completed, I'm going back to more fictional stuff, like The Egg, which is more like a Pixar style short story. You know, like a little thing.
Is that your bird or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, technically my mom's bird, right? But,
okay, I was saying,
yeah.
Your mom's bird or your bird?
Yeah, my mom's bird. But yeah. So my bird laid eggs. One didn't hatch, and I said, I got an idea. So yeah, so I wanted to make something, and it was basic. I knew I wanted to make that one as my first microfilm. So I'm like, all right, what can I do with this egg? Like, I love eggs. I don't know. I just love the aesthetic of an egg.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, I've always wanted
eating eggs. I'm like, wait.
that too. But yeah. So I'm like, I gotta create something. So I just kind of wrote something up. I wanted to write just something simple. I didn't want to overcomplicate. It's just if you've seen The Egg, it's very simple. It's nothing much. And it's just a story about letting go.
Right.
I thought that was nice, and I related to the person who owns the bird and raised the bird, and I don't know. It was just a very simple idea, nothing special.
I thought it was really special, but I'm coming from a place where I grew up in a household with birds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. My dad and my stepmom had 3 birds.
What kind of birds?
African gray.
All right, so you're like bird people for sure. If you got an African gray,
okay. For me, it took a little while because birds are birds. It's different. Like they're making loud noises and stuff. So as a
they can be annoying.
I'll be honest, I was like, oh, the birds. But as I got older, I saw the love that they have for these birds and vice versa. And it very quickly turned into like, I love them so much.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like they're just any living creature at this point for me. Like I have trouble killing an ant. Okay.
Yeah.
Like I just think about its life, and how it'd feel. But
yeah.
Anyways, aside from that,
says a lot about you though. That's good stuff.
Thank you. I resonated with your film because I'm like, oh my goodness, like not only are my parents gonna love this and understand this, but like. There's no words, but yet there's so much sentiment. There's so much feeling. And was that your intent with it? Or you just had the random idea and you're like, let's just go with it?
Yes and no, but, it was when she hatched an egg. I gotta be honest, like that, when I saw the egg, I was like, I gotta do something with this fucking egg. Like, when do I get to see an egg? I've never seen that before. So I'm like, all right, like, I'm gonna do something with it. And then the story unfolded to more of a deeper meaning with, the connection with my mom was the actress.
Right.
with her,
Love that.
and I thought that was interesting because like I don't know, like if you want to get a little deeper with it, there's something like letting go of people you love is probably the hardest thing. At least for me, is the hardest thing
Yeah.
I ever have to do.
Yeah.
And
I'm
I've done
sure
it before,
would,
and we've all have been there before.
yeah.
So I was like, when someone like say like a mother who has to let go of her children,
Right.
that has to. I'm not a woman, but like I can only imagine
Right.
how hard that is to birth someone and let them go into the world, like see them as a baby and let them go.
Right.
That must be very difficult.
Yeah.
Like if I have a daughter someday, I'm gonna really struggle. Just allowing her just move.
Pray for a boy.
Yeah. Like all boys. If not, I'm gonna have a problem. So yeah, there was like that element to the connection that she made with the bird, as it kind of replaced that temporarily, and then she kind of found it in herself to let the bird go
Oh my goodness.
where it belonged. So I was like, oh yeah, it kind of works.
Oh, that's so deep. I mean, like for people who love animals.
Yeah, right.
That's
Yeah,
deep.
I'm an animal guy too.
Yeah. Let's dive into that a little bit. Your love of animals.
Let's just say, if I wasn't doing this, I'd probably be a zookeeper.
So that's how much you love
No,
it.
I love animals.
What's your favorite animal?
That's difficult. I've
I'm
been
like,
asked this so many times. I'll tell you this: if I had one superpower, it would be to communicate with all animal life.
like, know what they're thinking.
Like all the animals come to me as the human translator. Like I would be able to understand them, and they can understand me. So that's where I'm at. Like Animal Kingdom.
Right.
Like my favorite restaurant is Rainforest Cafe. You ever been there?
Oh yes.
Like that's the kind of love of animals and nature I've got.
Is that place still around?
You kidding me? When's the last time you've been?
A while, obviously.
Yeah. Go to Sawgrass, have a
love
good
it.
time. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
there. It's there.
Okay.
Kidding me? I go at least like once every 2 months. I don't really have a favorite animal, honestly.
Just all of them. You just love life, love animals.
Yeah, I guess. I could, even the nasty ones. I can see, even cockroaches, which I hate. Like I understand they're fucking creatures and shit.
Love for
Yeah.
cockroaches? Okay.
Not.
See,
I don't
that's
say.
where I need to grow
I wouldn't
still.
say love. I said understanding. I didn't say love. An understanding.
Okay. I will be lucky if in my lifetime I grow to have an understanding for cockroaches. That's the.
That's got.
I shouldn't even like give this to like our audience, but yeah, that's like my phobia.
I'd rather swim in snakes for sure than like to
Yeah.
kiss a cockroach.
Okay. Same. I'll be in that snake pit with you.
I'd rather die.
All right, awesome. So let's transition into your short films now. Broken Boy. That's actually, I loved that film. I went to your premiere.
That was a good time, wasn't it?
It was an amazing night. It was like, in my opinion, a really successful event.
Yeah, that was nice.
Had a lot of people show up for you, and the vibes were good.
That was terrifying.
The theater was filled.
We had 2
and
theaters.
You had performers, you had singers.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good time.
Can you tell us a little bit about Broken Boy and that premiere?
Yeah, I mean, that's a big question.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Broken Boy's been an idea I've had for a while. The short film is like I wrote a feature version of it. It's not quite developed yet, but the short film that we made, 30 minutes, is kind of the concept of what it can be. Yeah, there's just something really cool like about a kid escaping abuse with the just as the audience experiences it as he is. For example, if you're 7 years old and all you can, you're just basically an abandoned kid inside of an abusive home. You don't even go to school. You're just a lost wild kid.
Mm-hmm.
And all you have is like the memories of your grandfather and like a bunch of books to read, like fictional tales.
Yeah.
And like that's how you see life.
Right.
Because that's kind of like how, not that I was abusing all that, but like that's how I saw the world, was through fiction.
Imagination.
Like I took shit seriously. Like when I saw Peter Pan, I'm like, all right, that guy just taught me a lesson today. This is what I'm gonna do. Like that's how I saw things.
Yes.
So that's how Jack, which is the main character in Broken Boy, that's how he sees the world. And so I thought it was really cool for, to him, at the end of the movie where he kills the abuser. Yeah, of course it's like now he's wanted for murder. He's a kid that's wanted for murder. But in his head, he killed the bad guy.
Right.
It's like I'm the hero.
He's the hero.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like I thought that was really very impactful.
And he's making his escape.
And he made it escape. Yeah, exactly. And so it's like this kid's on the run for like a felony. But in his head, he's like, I'm the hero and I'm achieving freedom. So it's like we kind of see the crime as something good, which I think is a very interesting like internal conflict for the audience.
Because you're siding with
a crime.
The child who's experiencing abuse, but also who did something where most people think it's crossing a line, right?
Exactly. I mean, it is. A lot of people would say, what the fuck? That's a little harsh. But it's like he killed someone who was abusing him.
Right.
Like
and his sister, right?
Yeah, and a sister. Yeah, and a sister as well.
Yeah, I mean, my take on it was this little boy who's like, he's little. He's coming into life. He's still figuring out what consciousness is.
Yeah.
And what he has to observe is either himself being abused or his sister, who is the most important person in his life, being abused as well.
It's the only person left, yeah.
So that's all he knows. How did Jack know? Jack, right?
Yeah.
How did Jack know that it was wrong? Because it's almost like he was born into the world of abuse. How did he figure out it was wrong?
He doesn't until he grows older. And like whenever the feature film is made, I'm just letting you know, if none of my stories get funded, I will write them books. Okay? Like it's going to get finished. You know what I'm saying? One way or another.
I'm pumped. Let's
go. In the feature length version, you see that he runs away with the homeless man.
Right.
So him and the homeless man, they go off into their adventure, and this whole time, the homeless man knows he committed a crime, and so he's kind of like helping the kid on the run, but also the kid's like, I finally did, I'm the hero, so he never really figures out he did the wrong thing until the very end where, reality all sets in, the cops are fucking there, it's like, reality sets in, and that's when he makes his great escape into like the sea, I don't know, I think that was super cool.
Oh, that's so epic. I mean, I love like the open ending of it too,
yeah,
where it's just like
you don't know what exactly. He's still there, like what the hell?
Like, is he good? Did he grow up?
Yeah.
Did he get boggled down by the crime he committed, or did it make him a free wild spirit?
Yeah.
Are we gonna find out in the feature film?
In the feature film, yeah, 100%, yeah. Hopefully, I would love to get that funded.
That's huge. I mean, everybody go check out Broken Boy. Where can they go find it?
It's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
Under my YouTube channel.
Please check that out. All his stuff, but especially Broken Boy, like, it's, how long is it?
So it's 3 versions. There's a 15-minute version, there's a 8-minute version, there's a 30-minute version.
Which is the version we saw in the theater?
30-minute version, yeah.
Okay. Watch the longest version.
Yeah. Everyone says that. Like, okay.
Just
I thought shorter was better, but everyone likes that version, I guess.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. I'm just thinking, like...
It's more story.
You deserve for people to watch the longest.
I guess, right?
But I loved it. It was really touching for me. I loved the performances in it. Jack was amazing. Your sister acted in it,
Yeah,
right?
she's great. I'm also making a microfilm based off a deleted scene.
Really?
Of Megan.
Okay.
It's coming out.
Her character was deep.
Yeah.
Really, really deep.
Yeah,
I was touched, if not more, by her character. Maybe just because of the age.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I felt like I could relate more to her.
Right.
But yeah, her performance was absolutely incredible. Can you talk a little bit about your sister, your relationship with her, and like the way
it's
you
my
guys
dog.
Combine your
That's my dog, bro.
Your creative worlds.
Oh man, love Megan to death. I would take 125 bullets to the face right now for Megan.
I feel that.
So, what was the question? Sorry.
That's how
I'm like, Megan love, bro. What is it?
That's how much you love her. Basically, just talking about your relationship with her and how both of your loves for creativity in this film world, how it's brought you closer together, how you guys collaborate.
Yeah. Megan and I have been close forever. We're not too far apart in age. We're like a year and a half away from each other.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I think. Something like that. Yeah, our bond is like unbreakable. There's nothing that will break us, Yeah, we make a great team. We understand each other. Like, we have that kind of work ethic. That's very, like, she's the only person I truly know that has the same commitment to work ethic as I do.
It's the genetics, I think.
Yeah, I guess. All right, that makes sense. But she has her own strengths.
Yeah.
That complement my weaknesses as well, and vice versa. So we make a really good team. In the creative world, that's I find that really interesting because two people can be a good match at just working in general. But
Mhm.
once you enter the creative world, that's also an interesting place to be a good collaboration.
Right.
And we also have strengths and weaknesses there that we really supplement each other very well.
Yeah.
And we click in that way a lot. And she makes music as well.
Yes,
She's gonna be
I've heard
pushing.
her perform.
Yeah, yeah.
She's very talented.
She's gonna be pushing some stuff out soon.
Let's go.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
excited. We'll have to have her on the show too.
Yeah, yeah. Her and her husband her husband's an absolute genius
Is he an
talent.
artist too?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, he makes
okay, I
music.
didn't know that.
He's really good. Like,
What?
so
Okay,
they make.
makes sense how they
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
connected.
In my head, I'm like, that's what made this work.
Probably.
That right there.
It's probably what sparked it. At
Yeah,
least,
no,
right?
it definitely helps.
That's huge.
He's very talented, and so them together is. I've been really pushing it.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
But you guys are super close, I can tell.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
I met you both together. That's how I met you, both of you.
The Workshop 3.
The Workshop 3.
That's right.
BQ. Shout out BQ.
BQ, what's up, brother?
Thank you for
I miss you, man. What's up,
me
man?
with this guy.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
I met a lot of people through that project.
Yeah, really?
Yeah,
Is that how you got connected to Ron, Chris, Lakeisha?
Ron, no, I met Ron through
Shout out
Ron
to
and
all you guys, by the way.
yeah. Ron and Chris worked on Broken Boy.
Right.
With me, and I had met Chris through a recommendation. Thank God. That's my dog right there. So, and Ron as well. That's my other dog, bro. They're family to me. Like
Same.
we kind of feel like we're becoming a family, right?
Yeah, we are. I love it.
It's like the crew,
positive, wholesome, human beings.
Exactly. So yeah, I met them through Broken Boy, but then I met you. I met Matthew Toohey and James through there, or Jimmy. I'm sorry, which are the lighting guys there.
Yeah.
BQ and a few other folks, and then I met Keisha later on.
After the workshop.
Yeah, to work on Ascendance. Which is,
I'm so glad you were on that show.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like everything's kind of like played out so wonderfully. Because, like I met Lakeisha through Shiny New Things and Chris and Ron.
Okay, cool.
And several other amazing people, and then I met you on the workshop, and then you were at like my next project of Espendez.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, this is like why
I
this
love working with
film world is so awesome. I was so excited you were there because I felt like I talked to your sister more at that Workshop 3 and we hit it off, but like I felt your vibe was very similar to hers. So like I off the bat felt like
we clicked too, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, she had great things to say. But yeah, Megan and I are really, really cool with each other. We have a film. She's not doing so much acting anymore.
Okay.
She says that she kind of wants to, not do it so much. And she wants to more focus on her music.
Okay.
But we have a film that we're developing called The Hawk and the Vulture, which is...
Is that on your page?
No, but
No.
I've kind of like, yeah. So The Hawk and the Vulture is, so I can't wait to make that movie. Like that's going to be my signature to our relationship, but also it's a real story I have. So it's cool. It's about two gypsy criminals that they siblings, kind of like a Bonnie and Clyde, and they grow up without parents. They grow up wild. Megan and I. Yeah. And they just grow up to be the most wanted criminals of England.
Any truth to that?
We'll have to see how this life thing plays out. I guess you guys will have to see.
Alright, so clearly in real life you two are badasses. Right? And you like to play with the rules a little bit.
Maybe. Yeah.
I can relate to that. Honestly, you, in life, you gotta be a little bad. Like, you can't be such a rule follower. Not bad.
Yeah.
But like,
I don't know what rules you're talking about, but yeah, like rules are...
Like, what rules?
I was raised by my father to think, like he drilled this into my head. He said, learn the rules well so you could learn to break them.
Hell yeah.
And I'm sure you've heard that before. Like, and it's true.
Yeah.
Like there's
guidelines.
Yeah, exactly. They're more like guidelines anyway.
We're gonna dive into our closing topic soon, but I wanna give you the opportunity to talk about anything you feel like we might have missed, any project that you wanted to dive into a little bit more that we haven't covered yet. Anything that comes to mind that you feel like you gotta say or you want it to be heard? The
Miami Dolphins will make the Super Bowl. Okay, that's number one. All right, that's you heard it here first. Okay. So yeah, I'm always working on something. I've got Top Hat Rabbit, which is I'm really there's 3 films that I have kind of in the works that are more bigger films that I really, really, really can't wait to put everything I've ever learned into this. Like I know I got the sauce.
Got
I
the
know
sauce.
I've got it. You know,
You can
and
pour it all in.
it's time to whip it up. You know, and I think these three films I can whip it up and serve a nice like pad thai. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Top Hat Rabbit, The Hawk and the Vulture, and this film called The Price of Freedom.
Oh my goodness.
So,
Which
that's
one are we starting? Are you gonna start working on? Which one can we expect to see first, or what?
that all depends on certain things, but
Okay.
they're all inching closer to development. So it depends which one falls. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
there's so
yeah.
many different things, as you
They're
know.
like kind of racing even, and
Right.
whoever
Exactly.
pulls
And
ahead.
then that's when we'll decide, well, kind of like what goes where. But and then I have, I'm developing my feature films and speaking to different producers to see, just making connections and developing relationships to, jump into a bigger pond, which I'm ready to do.
Yeah, it seems like it, honestly. So I'm really excited for you. I hope you'll keep me in mind
Oh,
for
hell yeah.
any of your lead
Let's
roles
go.
moving forward. I love you, dude. But I'm really glad that we've connected through film. I'm excited to learn that you also like got a music side to yourself. I can see that actually through watching a bunch of your films. Like you've got a real talent for mixing in the type of music you feel, the timing of it. That's really awesome. I don't know if you're aware.
I can't make
you
music,
also,
but I can feel it.
you feel it, yeah,
I can feel
exactly.
it.
You feel it, and you know how to incorporate it into your picture, and it feels so right. Like I'm just so excited to see more of your work. The micro,
Thanks.
the short,
Thanks.
the feature. I have no doubt that you're gonna do it all. So
And books.
I'm stoked for you. Oh, and books.
We got novels coming out.
Right, because writer, director, right? Let's go. Are you ready to jump into our final
Let's
topic?
do it. Let's do it.
All right, so our topic is the power of collaboration
Okay.
and the power of community.
Very important.
I feel like I just want to start off this topic by shouting you out and saying that I am very aware of how people operate around me, and you, Ron, Chris, Lakeisha, all of you guys you have support in your blood. Like you show up for people, you show up enthusiastically, you show up with a smile on your face, you show up to help out. You've come through for me personally, so thank you so much for that. Like
Any day.
out of like all my recent events, like you've been at all of them, and like that's so huge. It's such a rare. You're a rare gem.
I don't know about that.
No,
But I appreciate it.
It's true. I just want to tell you how, like, from an outside perspective, you come off as someone who's just enthusiastic and supportive as hell.
Very good.
So
We're doing something
that,
right.
how do you feel about the power of community, the power of finding that local support?
I think it's essential, especially in what we do. Like I've had this conversation with Chris so many times, like over and over. And Chris is that is a gem right there. I call him the secret weapon.
Chris, we want you
And
as a guest.
Keisha as well. Like those people in
Absolutely.
Ron, like you said, those are golden eggs. But I've had many conversations with the importance of collaboration this in general, but also in this particular industry. Like it's very difficult to do what we do. Like we're not making paintings.
Right.
Even music, we can whip up an album tonight, smoke some weed and have a good fucking time and make a banger tomorrow.
You down?
Yeah, all right. I'm about to make a banger right now. But movies takes people's lives, like time out of their days over a long period of time, and skill. It takes money, real world money, and it takes a lot of gear and equipment, and even with that, it's not promising anything. So it's like, and then you have to have a really good story to tell, and then to translate that into screen. Like there's so many different options. I mean, variables to a film, and then the actresses. Let's say, an actress. Let's say you come prepared, and the other one just had a breakup. Then the whole movie could be toast because she had a breakup.
So much rides.
Do you know what I'm saying? And it's like we all 99% did their job, except one person did not. So basically, what I'm getting at is the importance of making sure we're there for each other and finding the ones who are truly serious about doing this is very important. And I think just by showing up and being the person you wish to see in the world is the magnet that's going to keep attracting. Exactly. Like just being him. Just being that person, being the guy, the girl that you wish to see, that you think should be there, and then the rest will come.
Absolutely, because any event you throw, unless I'm dead
You'll be
or
there?
out of town or
Right.
something, you know, I'm there.
That's
you know,
amazing. Thanks.
So it just goes to show, like, it really is what you put out is what you get back.
100%. I agree with that.
Specifically, have you ever had someone come across as supportive, and then when push comes to shove,
yeah, of course,
they're ghost?
Of course.
Yeah.
And you cut those people out quick. You cut them out quick.
Thank you for diving into that. Like, is it like it's black and white? You know, like I'm here. This is my intention. This is what I'm here to do. It's not a hobby.
Yeah.
This is the kind of people I need around me, and like the rest.
Yeah, because you know I may seem like I've got boundaries now, but that's because I didn't have boundaries at all at one point.
Okay.
And so you just allow everyone in the fucking gates is a problem.
Yeah.
You know, you wish, oh, I know I can help everybody. I can I can vibe with everyone, which I can technically. But at what cost?
Right, to your own self.
To myself. And then, you know, when you start to gain a little bit more respect for yourself, and unfortunately for me, it comes with age. Yeah. You know, you start to realize, you know, not everyone can be part of your squad for two reasons. Number one, they're gonna probably, you know, fuck something up. Yeah. And two, they're taking a place of someone like Chris that should be there. Right. So if someone's here and you only got 5 spots, you've now filled the space out of pity or whatever reason. Love, pity. Whatever it can be, it is. You take that person out, now you have an empty slot for someone who truly wants to be there. You know what I'm saying?
That is huge.
So like, you know, yeah, black and white, cut them out.
I hope everyone's listening. I'm listening. I've personally struggled with that throughout my life, is being hyper aware, more aware than people probably think, of what someone's true status of their support or love and belief in you, and like being disappointed by the facts, and then still being open to allowing those people up in your space, up in your energy, up in your projects and stuff like that. So I've personally learned a lot from you, where it's just like, show the right people your work. You know, even not that you're looking for them to sing your praise, right, but you're looking for someone with actual accreditation to give you that feedback.
Or trust, like really trust somebody. Right. Another thing is, like, you don't have to cut someone out entirely out of your life. Right. You know, there's different people for different reasons, and I've had to learn that. You know, sometimes people are just your friend, and that's, you know, sometimes they don't need to be collaborating with you in this particular realm. You know, so life's hard. Like, figuring all this shit out is hard. Yeah. I'm just winging it. Like, I'm just trying to. I'm just, you know, I'm also just just as questioning as you are with this scenario, but like, for, you know, the best way to go about it is to be honest, to be extremely forward, and then, you know, try to be the best person you can with them. Like, you know, if they're a family member or something, you know, you don't want to cut a family member out. Right. You still have love for that person, but you don't want, you know, but at the same time you have to develop a boundary, which all that shit's difficult. Like, this is so much easier said than done.
For sure.
You know, like, I'm just whipping it out, but like, it's so much more difficult to do.
It sounds easy the way that you're saying it, but I can also feel the work that you've put behind it, the life experience that you've put behind it, to put it so casually. Yeah. And that's the way it needs to be put for people who are watching or going to be watching, to learn from it, to take from it. Like, it's a very human thing.
Yeah. Especially in the world of the arts. Like, if people who are artists watching this, like, that's a very beneficial thing, as I'm sure you understand.
For sure. Definitely. So to close off that topic, what's like a positive statement, like, we can leave off on the whole power of community and support? Like, even if you kind of say something you've already said when we started off, that's okay. But just to close it off,
I'd say to show up as the person you wish to see, the person that you wish to see in the world. That's the person you should be. Expect nothing, and if anything does come from it, it's a bonus.
I love that. You know what? That's what I'd say. That was said perfectly.
That's what I'd say.
I appreciate you, man. Well, one thing we're going to be starting on this show is taking from this jar, positive affirmation, talking about how you feel about what you got. Okay. And then writing down one to add into the jar that our next guest.
Oh, all right. Let's go.
All right. So go ahead. Take your pick.
Let's see. I like that one. So do I read this out loud, or is this
Yeah,
just for me?
absolutely.
The best way to predict the future is to create it.
Ooh, that was like made for you.
The best way to predict the future is to create it. I mean, it kind of aligns kind of like what we're talking about.
That's kind of crazy.
Just be the thing. Be the thing, for love of God. Like,
Be the
just
thing
do
you
it.
want,
Exactly.
right? If you're not going to be the thing you want, how can you expect everybody around you to give you that?
Exactly. Just if you are a creator, right? Like, I hate the word artist. I hate being called an artist. Like, I make shit. Okay.
Yeah, you're a
Okay.
creator. You're a doer.
I'm a doer. Just make the shit. Let it be judged. Make it happen. Like, if you're a musician, if you're a painter, if you're a writer, if you're a director, whatever it is, just make it. There's so much untold stories because people are afraid. So just make it. Have a good time with it too. Like, we're gonna die, so fuck it, dude. Just go ahead and do it.
I've had so much fun.
Yeah, no, this is great.
Obviously, I barely slept last night thinking about this, just out of pure excitement. But I knew you were the perfect guest for so many reasons, including the fact that I knew we were just going to be able to come in here, be authentic,
And rip it.
hang out.
Yeah, just rip it.
Just rip it, just talk.
Yeah.
So, seriously, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being our very first guest.
No, thanks for. I mean, it's a fucking honor.
I hope that
The
you'll
first one?
come back.
I'll be back as
Be a
many
guest
times you
several
need.
times more.
I will be here.
And to finish off, I'm going to tell the audience a little bit about our next week's guest. And meanwhile, if you
I'm excited.
give us the honor,
All right, should I write down while you're doing
here,
that?
I think there was a blank one in here. Let me see.
Also, I did not expect to lay down. I got my legs just just
same.
like
I mean, I'm
pure quads just hanging out here. Okay.
Just being ourselves, right?
Do I put this back or
yeah,
do I keep this?
No, let's keep yours out. And
Okay.
then I grabbed the blank one that we had in there. So go ahead and add your own, and
All right.
maybe our next guest or the one after that or the one after that might grab it, and that would be pretty cool.
See, I'll write it here.
So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm your host, Rachel Espendez. Our guest is Ahi Black. He is a writer and director. I hope that you guys will go follow him. Follow Arigato Vibes. Follow Rachel Espendez. And follow our sponsor, Mike Juliano. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you guys will join us again next Thursday. For our next guest is going to be Tag. He's an artist, a rapper. He's extremely talented. He wears many hats. He works with a producing group called QST. He's going to be our guest next week. Maybe we'll even perform a song together. I mean, we do have a song called Gray Clouds that you guys could go listen to right now. I just want to give a shout out to our very first sponsor, Mike Juliano Creative Services. They offer complete photo, video, and web design services in the Tri-County area. Corporate work, headshots, events, concerts, music videos. He's done one for me and it came out awesome. Thank you, Mike. Let's see. And for small businesses. He has 15 years of industry experience. He's dedicated to an unmatched attention to detail, personal connection, and quick turnaround time. And I can vouch for that. I mean, he got it to me so quick. A full music video. It was like a 2-day shoot, too. So he's amazing. He's talented. His hours are convenient. He makes it work for whenever you're available. And he's gifting our viewers of the show a 10% discount on any photo or video service. I highly recommend that you take advantage of it. I personally have worked with him first for headshots. He made me feel so comfortable. We had the most epic photo shoot ever. He chose an awesome location. He's easy to coordinate with. And then for the music video, all I can say, it was like a party. I thought you were there, but I don't think you were.
You had invited me, but I couldn't do it.
You did everything, right? But
I wanted to be there.
Chris was there. Ron was there. My brother was there. A lot of people were there, and we just had such a great time. And he just facilitated such an easy flow to the recording that, like, if you have any kind of idea, he's somebody you should hit up. I'll definitely connect both of you guys, that's for sure.
All right, Mike, we'll talk, brother.
So visit MikeJuliano.com to book with him today. If that's an issue, you can reach out to me. I'll connect you guys personally, but he's somebody that you don't want to miss out on working with. So shout out to Mike Juliano Creative. Shout out to our guest, Ahi Black. Thank you so much for being just an amazing person and sharing your talents and your vision with us today.
Thanks for having me. This was amazing.
All
I'll
right,
do it
guys.
again and again.
Until next time. All right, guys. Thank you. Love you. I'm Rachel Espendez. We're out.
Peace and love, y'all.